Okay. Um, yeah, so the past month was quite difficult for me. I think starting a new job is always really, there's that intensity of like being in a completely new environment and getting to know like 20 people at once basically at my job, and like I think so much of June had to be focused on survival and recovery from like how stimulated and how much I was receiving with stimulation. Not exactly a bad thing, but just how much I was receiving and learning, and yeah, just really understanding the nature of like this work that I've committed to, and like understanding what it would take for me to do it well, and doing it well meaning that taking care of my body first and foremost. And yeah, it was really difficult, and there was a long period of like just anxiety, and yeah, I struggle with anxiety and some insomnia, like I guess chronically from since I was young. And I think like going through this new season just brought it back again, but in a kind of a way that made me feel really incapacitated, like, oh, maybe I'm not meant for this kind of work because like I struggle with all these things, and like my capacity is not the same as someone else's. But I think one of the things that I was, I guess, journaling about like throughout this month, a revelation that keeps coming up again, which is like that I'm not waiting for like a more ideal version of myself that doesn't have anxiety or doesn't have insomnia, or is somehow like a much healthier and fitter version of me that can do this work super well. But I have like who I am right now, which is my current self. And rather than trying to kind of like push down and shove down like positive affirmations down my throat in like no, like I can be way better, like blah blah, it's also like a form of radical self-acceptance that this self that I am is my best self, is my highest self, and like it's also all I have is the present moment, who I am right now. And I just really want to appreciate who she is, you know. And I think this is all in the vein of like thinking well of myself, you know, thinking well of myself in terms of like the start of this video is like setting up all these goals, like a vision for, you know, how I see June or like how I see the rest of my year, and then like pushing myself, like going for the audition, like, you know, pushing myself to learn, to grow. And I think every day I've been pushing myself and doing the hard thing. I feel like working at this job means that I am always outside my comfort zone like every day, and that is draining, that is really difficult, and I'm just like acknowledging it, you know. And yeah, so much of June was like no, like I can't hang out, like I'm too tired, I'm too stressed, I'm too anxious, I'm too worried which, like, you know, at first like I was on another level of feeling all these feelings, was also like beating myself up for being like weaker than my colleagues, like, oh, why are you more sensitive and more worried and more easily affected, you know. But that's just who I am. And I think, you know, being in a relational work where I want others to accept themselves and feel a sense of belonging starts with like me feeling a sense of belonging with myself. Something that I've learned from Brene Brown's podcast. I don't listen to it regularly, but it was, I guess it's an interview that she did, and I just only remember this one line, which is she said that you have to feel a sense of belonging with yourself first. And I've also been rereading like one of my favorite books ever, which is The Courage to Be Disliked, and it's a beautiful text. And like, yeah, and it's basically, yeah, I feel like the title sounds really cheesy, but give it a try, you know. It's such a beautiful book. And yeah, it's also within that text that it was making a distinction between like self-affirmation, which is like, I feel like a lot of what I was doing in this video was also a lot of self-affirmation, like, no, I see like you as better, as this ideal form that you are not there yet but you can be, and like, but I'm also moving more towards like self-acceptance versus self-affirmation, where it's just like, yeah, like I am this sort of person, and like how can I work with what I have, like my sensitivity, my sort of predisposition to like worry, how can I work with myself, how can I be creative with the ways that I exist in the world, so that I can, yeah, just continually, not so that I can, but really just like, what is it like to embrace myself right now and show up right now.